dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice. You better roll them dice. You never know if it'll change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. Pac Div. You never know if you don't roll those dice. Man, life's so ill.
Howdy, Rob.
Howdy, Matt.
Hey, and welcome everyone back to another episode of Dungeon Master of None, Actual Prep Edition.
Yeah, we're going back to one of our mainstays, one of the things we love to do, and we're gonna do some prep. We're gonna do it right here, live on air for you listeners. It's very special time. And what are we gonna be working on today, Matt?
Yeah, well, if you're a subscriber to our Patreon at patreon.com/Dungeon Master of None, one of the episodes we did recently was like, hey, why is Act 1 of Baldur's Gate like such a good setup for a low-level campaign or arc of a campaign, a low-level adventure? It's kind of a sandbox. It's kind of got some quests. It's got a strong motivation. And we thought we would use that as inspiration to do some prepping of like, hey, here's a low-level sandbox that you could run for 6 to 10 sessions. And obviously, we can't plan out 6 to 10 sessions live on the fly just from our heads in 1 hour, but we'll get through some things. And like all our actual prep episodes, it's like, hey, listen along and maybe you'll get some inspiration of how our stupid brains work.
Well, and hopefully we'll have some, we're running a little bit behind on this as well, but some materials to go along with this eventually. Usually these end up making it into some kind of actual document you can use. And the thing about the Baldur's Gate 3 Act 1, and you don't need to have played the game to appreciate this or to follow along. It's just sort of like our starting point. But we talked about it is a sandbox as programmed into the game. You know, it's just like a big open area that you can explore. But it functions a bit more like a point crawl in that there are, and by point crawl I mean that there's, distinct spots. Nodes. Thank you. Yeah. And so
Rob and I are covered in nodes.
We have so many.
It's really
nodes.
disgusting.
It's, nodes everywhere. Hideous. But we love them for planning. Having on your body, not so good. But there's distinct nodes or zones or points that you can go to. There's a goblin camp. There's a druid camp. There's an abandoned village. There's the Underdark. There's the swamp. Each of these is its own, again, open area with lots of stuff going on, but they're somewhat self-contained in that lots of everything that's happening there is related to things that are within that node, and there are connections to the other nodes, but you can sort of like go point by point and sort of like knock out most of what you need to do. And I think this is a really good way to plan a sandbox or a hex crawl or really plan an adventure in general. The point crawl nodes, subsections, independent little areas is a really good way to do your own prep. And so I think that's how we're going to approach this.
Yeah. Yeah. The nodes have quests. Quests sends players to other nodes. Interesting people, items, places in those nodes point back or to new nodes. Like this is how you plan out any kind of sandbox, whether it's a point crawl or a hex crawl or however you want to organize it, right? It's just you point players to interesting places. Though, as we've discussed many times, like underlying this, giving the players like an extra engine to attach to their adventuring train is to give them some kind of like motivation or overall goals.
Right.
And you don't have to do this. The goal could just be an adventure. Go get gold and slay monsters and explore. But it helps.
It does help. And in the Baldur's Gate 3 example, they do this well because you've got one big push, which is you got a weird thing in your head and you need to get it out, and you're trying to find somebody or something that can do that. But beneath that, there are all these different engines or motivators, deal with the goblin camp, find a cool thing, one of your companions wants to go a place, etc. And this means that it's, I think, Part of why it works is that you're highly motivated. You have a lot of good reasons to go lots of different places, regardless of sort of like what your personal interest or your PC's like role-playing interest is. There's just like a lot of good, compelling reasons to go places and do things. And once you have that engine rolling, once your players are invested in the world and the campaign and the party, it's really easy to sort of like keep that flywheel going. So this I agree with Matt. Have a big picture thing. This is maybe one of the weaknesses of a traditional hex crawl, is that they are often just go, adventure, find loot. And that works for a lot of parties. But I think a preferred, and to me sort of like the perfect marriage of the two, is here's a hex crawl, go adventure, fight monsters, get treasure, but also you're trying to find a hidden whatever, or you're trying to look for your lost whoever, or you're, being asked to do something by somebody important to seek, a quest item.
Here's how I organize it in my games, and you have like 3 options here. Is A, you can give the entire party, here's your goal. You must stop the cult of Tiamat, right? Or you're all linked to the king, and the king has ordered you to do whatever.
Right.
B, you all have your own kind of goals, right?
Yeah.
And these are things from the players' backstories. And the great thing is that the players come up with some kind of goal or backstory through character creation or early sessions of play. You can go plan something that ties into that, put it somewhere in one of your points or hexes. Third option, A, B. You do both, right? Mm-hmm. You give the party a goal, you let your players have the goal. That's usually how I do it, but there's no right or wrong answer here.
Right. And I would say, and Matt, I'm sorry for ruining your construction, but like, regardless, there's a C here. And the C is whenever you get somewhere, there's a sub thing. You're at the desecrated chapel, and you find a crusader's sword, and you have to return it to the crusader who is encamped at the waterfall ford a few miles away. And then when you get to the waterfall ford in the crusader's camp, you'll find him, or you won't find him, and that will lead to another node. But like,
right,
that's beneath.
C is the world's is how the point crawl and the hex crawl work, right? Yeah. So there's really what we're talking about, and Rob's correct, right? The construction is there are 3 possible sources of motivation that players can be working on at any time, right? Party, personal, and world discovery.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Speaking of which, and the great thing about like playing the motivation is like you can slot it in at any time as you are like prepping it out.
Yeah.
You can start at the beginning, like, okay, let's come up with the big idea that's gonna hit the party or that is important to the world, or you can let it arise organically. How do we want to do it? Where do we want to start?
I like the idea. So in my experience with my players, they often don't come to the table with like a super ironed out idea of their PC's backstory or motivations. Sometimes they will, but I want to sort of like give them the chance to get started without necessarily having that all the way figured out. So I think we start with A, like a big picture, a good reason. One of our, we've talked a lot about big picture motivators or things to sort of like combine your party together and give them a reason to work together. And then they can figure out their personal subplots, their Bs, as the larger plot or the world reveals itself to them, and they sort of like get a sense for like how they're going to fit in. So I say we start big and let them go.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So I think big party goals, right, can often be magical in nature. So you have some magic or technology that's investing you. They can be like I would say personal, like, hey, you're all related in this way from this organization, or things like that. Where do we want to go with this motivation?
I mean, I have a clear favorite for this one for fantasy games, for open-ended ones, and that's letter from friend. I love the idea that everybody gets like a letter from will make an NPC somebody that they have a reason to know, love, hate, have worked with, been a student of, and this does require them to do a little bit of thinking. But you ask them, what's your relationship to this person? You received a letter. They have gone missing. They are looking for help with something. I like gone missing. I like gone missing a lot because then you don't have to necessarily role play that NPC. But either they want to find this person to help them, or they've been trying to find this person to kill them, or exact revenge or something. They have a motivation to find the NPC that sent them a letter, who has since gone missing.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Fine. As the party's motivation, they got to find someone. I think the key thing on this one is to make that person interesting or weird in some way. You never want this person to just be a guy or gal.
Sure.
Do we want to come up with that now, or we can always table it? We know the players are looking for someone who is missing.
I can keep spinning, Matt. How do we want to table that until we figured out some other big picture things?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll circle
it's
back
fine,
around.
right? Because the great thing about planning a sandbox is it doesn't really matter why the players are looking for someone or who that person is. We can come up with that as we plan out the sandbox. It's not important to know that right now. Let's see. I think one way to start with a sandbox is to start with the starting location, or to just start with a cool or interesting place. Do we want to start with the starting location, or do we just want to get into let's find a cool place that the players are encountering? In Baldur's Gate 3 terms, right? Are we starting at the Druid's Grove, or are we heading straight to the Underdark and working backwards? There's no right or wrong answer here.
This is a good question. Let's pick an interesting place. I think we can work backward from that. So let's find a cool place for a point crawl, and then work backwards to where they're starting.
Okay. That's fine. I think I got an idea for a first zone, which is just I don't know why I was thinking about this earlier this week, but I don't know, maybe something made a reference to the book of Genesis. I think it's by Jonathan Franzen, or one of those new authors. Have you ever heard of this book?
I am familiar, vaguely so.
So there's this character who really represents the city of New York, actually. There's an angel with a flaming sword in Genesis, right?
Sure.
That guards, a garden or something like that. I was thinking, well, what if that garden was still around, and what if that angel was still around, and maybe they got bored of guarding things? And then I was thinking of the that fun. Gosh, what was it? Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, where an angel is just ruling a city. But I don't think that adventure ever explained why that angel was ruling a city. And I was like, oh, that's why an angel would be ruling a city. There's a city or some sort of civilization grew up around whatever they were supposed to be guarding with a flaming sword. Actually, by the way, Rob, that's all I got.
That's
but
perfect.
I think we can build a fun zone around this.
No, that's beautiful. This might be my fault, because I probably mentioned something about a flaming sword because I was one of my big-brained ideas for my cyberpunk game was a program that was a flaming sword, and there were a bunch of hidden references to Uriel and Yahat Cherub, which is I think Hebrew for the flaming sword. And I probably mentioned this to you at some point in one of our recordings, and it wormed its way into your brain. So this is great for me. I love this shit. I always have been interested in the angel with a flaming sword that the Book of Genesis by Jonathan Franzen mentions in an offhand way and then never returns to.
Yes.
So this reminds me of the dragon utopia / dystopia in Galarian, the perfect society that's run by a benevolent question mark dragon, and it does also
Hermea, I
that's
believe.
right.
Yeah.
And it also, I think, it was in Radiant Citadel or something else, but a city-state ruled by an angel or a diva, D-E-V-A, not D-I-V-A, or a diva.
Yeah.
Could
be both.
Is a great, I think, I do sort of like love this sort of thing. Like it on the outside, it all like looks shiny and good, but like there's something just kind of weird or unsettling or under the surface sinister about an angel ruling this place.
Yeah. And I think this is where like level comes in. We want to keep it small, right? Enough that a low-level party can deal with everything, no matter what they choose. And so like by society, maybe we mean a group of 10 to 20 knights and a village, hamlet sized with 20 households or something like that. We could start a number of places. We could start with the society. We could start with what's on the outskirts. We could start with what the angel is guarding.
Yeah,
if it's even there anymore.
I think that's a good idea. I also like love the idea of having it be small scale, right? Like not a whole country or a nation state, but like a village, like a small township, and doesn't even have to be an angel. Some sort of lawful or good outsider or something has set up shop.
I'm gonna say it should be like a person with 6 wings and several eyes and a flaming sword, so that low-level intro parties can grok what's going on here.
Yes,
we don't have to introduce. Oh, well, this is actually an archon, and they're different than angels.
I
so
agree.
Like, oh, great.
It's an angel or something that closely resembles an angel. I agree.
Right.
Lots of wings, flaming sword, glowing eyes, halo. Yep.
Sorry, I'm just Googling cursed artifacts in the D&D handbook. So I think we could come up with our own. We could go with the most interesting ones here are obviously like the hand in the eye of Vecna.
Yeah.
If we wanted to like go big from the very beginning, that there's something like that here.
Well, let me know if this
the
is
Book of Vile Darkness.
Let me know if this is too basic or if this is going the wrong direction. But what if the flaming sword is a very powerful, like it's a flaming sword, like it's incredibly powerful, but it has within it the soul of a corrupted angel or something like that, and that everybody who wields it is sort of, wait, hang on, now I'm going somewhere entirely. Let me know if this works.
Yeah,
they're doomed to be the protector of this village, right? Like everybody who takes up the sword is sort of becomes the new protector of the guardian.
Like the Santa Claus.
Like the Santa
Tim
Claus.
Allen.
It's just like the Santa Claus, Matt.
He thought it was just for one night.
You're the new Santa.
I am not Santa Claus.
Ah. You put on a suit, you're the big guy.
What if I don't buy into this Santa Claus thing?
We can lean into that. Like it can transform the person, and we can decide is that person like gone forever, or can they be redeemed? And that's one of like the things that the players have to decide. Like, do they try to save the person who took up the sword last? And that could be their friend. It could be the letter writer. Sorry, I'm spinning threads too fast.
Yeah. Okay. Too many connections.
Too many
right.
Connections.
I was thinking the reason to have like some sort of thing that the sword is guarding, because it fits in with the trope that the players are going to be familiar with and make a logical guess to, is that also gives us a dungeon to build.
Yeah.
Under this place. But yeah, I like the idea. Let's put it in there. The flaming sword is either through the corruption of it being guarding this place, is that whoever wields it, right, is compelled to essentially build a fortress, build protectors, gather servants. It maybe even gives, in addition to being a flaming magic sword, it gives you like some leadership or some control abilities, right? To either dominate or attract
or compel
people.
I think that's good.
So I've got in our notes here, we could build a fun, like, one of those dungeons that's like, hey, this dungeon is built to guard this thing, right? A Guardian-style dungeon underneath this. What do you think's around this angel? I was thinking, especially with, like, the Santa Claus, plus your idea like Hermea, right?
Yeah.
This would be a great place for us to put in just I don't know, some asshole paladins or knights.
Do like asshole paladins and knights, yes.
Yeah.
I think that has to be a part of this, right? We've got some low level or lowish level, paladins, knights, armored douchebags, and
Yeah, they're level 1, they're tier 1, but they've got armor and shields and swords. That's tough to deal with. And has this person built like a cool keep or a tower or something like that?
Well, let's
do we
stick
want
with one
what
of
do we
our
want this to look like?
One of our core principles and make it. Let's try to get weird with it. Now, I'm thinking about the garden, right? The garden that is being protected by the angel with a flaming sword. So, what if the dungeon that we're talking about is actually a labyrinth, which is a over like a hedgerows and plants and fountains type labyrinth, rather than a dungeon like beneath the village, right? Which would be, I think, traditional. What's at the center of a labyrinth? What exactly are we guarding?
Yeah, I actually that's great. If the keep is at an entrance to like a labyrinth, right? The name of the keep is like ingress or something.
I like
some
that, yeah.
synonym for labyrinth. And then it could still be a labyrinth and like a guardian type dungeon, but it is magical hedges and traps and stuff like that. And at the center of the labyrinth, I still think like a cursed item that, the gods somehow either put this sword here or built this labyrinth, or some divine order angels built to trap something that can't be destroyed is there at the center.
Yeah.
And this is something that the players, they don't have to go get this cursed item, but they might want to, especially if it connects to their friend in some way.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Okay. So it's hedges and weird traps, and maybe there's this the keep of ingress that is built around the entrance, the only
entrance.
way in. Okay,
I like that. I think it would be cool. Yeah, the thing that the angel is building is this keep. Yeah, the angel has been compelled to gather asshole knights and also laborers to build a mighty keep to protect the entrance to the labyrinth, at the center of which is a cursed artifact of some kind that cannot be destroyed but must be protected.
Okay, so there is a keep, and where like the keep is built like over the, deep in the throne room is just a hedge entrance that then goes outside to the hedge, and there's only walls on one side because this hedge maze is magically protected.
Right. You can't enter it from the outside. Even if you could see it and find the walls, you can only enter from the throne room.
Outside,
it's very Dark
ingress,
Souls. I like that.
Yeah, is the village of Threshold, which is little more than like a single tavern and a bunch of farmsteads and laborers' shacks.
Ramshackle, huts for people to live in when they're not hauling stone blocks to build ingress.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ingress is constantly being expanded, but And then what's the name of this asshole paladins and knights now that we have more of the theme?
Let's see. They are the we can just call them the gatekeepers, right? That's good. Yeah. Gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss.
The gatekeepers and the girl boss. All right. Maybe we should, if we're looking for a trope to lean into our angel, maybe our angel with the flaming sword is a girl boss.
I do actually like. Let's make her a girl boss. I like that.
So we can come up with a cool angel name for her. Before. And then, okay, so now that we've described one of our points, we can either keep adding nearby points, or we can start adding like interesting encounters, NPCs, or factions within that point, right?
So here's how I'm imagining this, with an eye to running it, right? So we've got 3-ish points, right? We've got Threshold, we've got Ingress, we've got the maze itself. as we've constructed them, those are fairly linear. So
Yeah.
let's add some non-linearity and maybe one or two more points outside of those to mix it up a little bit. I am thinking of a encampment or hideout for somebody who is opposed to our girl boss nearby in the hills or caves or swamps or something. And then also maybe a nearby trading post or village that has a complicated relationship to the angel. The places to go and find information, pursue quests, and possibly get help. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sure. One at a time. The bandit hideout. What kind of bandits are there? When you mention bandits, I'm thinking these are probably, why not, disaffected laborers and peasants.
Escapees from
escapees.
Threshold.
There could be a rogue knight.
Ooh, I like that.
Who
Yeah.
was once an order, a member of the gatekeepers who who is
Brotherhood
like,
without banners. We can, guys who have, people who have run away or who have family members who have been compelled or dominated or swayed by our angel girl boss, who are trying to bring her down.
I would say the faction is, it's not that they want to, destroy the keep so they can get into the maze. Like,
No,
they
they
just
don't
don't
care
want
about
this
that. Yeah.
angel here, right?
Well,
They're
that's-
like, we have this nice village and
Yes,
keep.
yeah.
Why are we spending all of our resources just expanding it? Like, we just want this angel.
They might not even
gone.
know about the hedge maze. They don't care about the big sort of cosmic conflict at the center. They just don't like the angel and the way she pushes people around. I like that. I think that they are surface level. They could be useful allies, but they're not motivated by quite the same thing that the players are.
And then let's see. So they're sort of I guess like rebels, but they are
rebels.
maybe constantly stealing supplies.
Yeah, causing problems, ambushing knights,
and again,
trying to break in.
This is like low level. We're not talking like hundreds of rebels.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking like a community of like 5 to 10 or 12, right?
Yeah, a
and again,
dozen
this village
or so,
has like
yeah.
50 people in it.
Yeah.
That lets me know that the keep of ingress, right? Like the walls should be incomplete.
Yeah.
The players should be able to get in if they want. It should be actively being built. There should be many entrance points.
I like the idea that it looks like it will be grand someday. Like there's parts of it that are like high and shining and kind of shockingly out of place for like wherever the wilderness we're in is, but it's not done, right? It's you're right. There's big holes in the wall. There's not enough gatekeepers to guard every part of it. The small village of Threshold is constantly overworked trying to complete this massive project. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so building outwards, what are some other nearby things? We could have some clues in the wilderness that like the magic of this hedge maze is affecting it, right? So this kind of lets us know what we should build our random table out to.
I like that.
There are some magical topiary creatures in the forest nearby. There's some shambling mounds.
I like that.
Kind of stuff.
Let's make one of our points the forest or the wilderness nearby. And there's lots to find. And this would be good like if you have players who are rangers or druids and like want to like try to track or find. There's lots of clues outside if they're willing to look for them. Like you said, shambling mounds, animated hedges, other things that are just like not quite right for the wilderness that the right person would be able to pick up on.
The Guardian Maze is full of intelligent rats that are pretty good at intelligent giant rats that are good at solving it.
Yep. Oh, I love that.
Okay.
That's great.
Let's see. In the village itself, I imagine there are some NPCs that are very loyal to the angel, and then there are some NPCs that are loyal to the bandits. Like we could think of the village as like the middle ground between these two factions.
Yeah. I think a sort of like sub thing is that, you know, the angel, our girl boss, rules with a combination of carrot and stick, right? She's got a flaming sword. She uses it sometimes to kill people, but also she can bestow powerful gifts on people, including maybe her gatekeepers and even peasants who please her. So like some people maybe have some special powers, nothing fancy, but obvious boons from heaven. You know, the things that would convince some people that she's the real deal.
Now, when you're building a sandbox, right, the important thing is to make sure that if it's an intelligent NPC or even if it's not, like, you know, what does it want and how does that want relate to the players, right? Because the worst thing you can have is have this open-ended thing where the players show up, they meet this cool angel, they discover all the factions, and all the factions tell the players to, like, hey, go away, mind your own business, right?
Right.
That might be logical, but it's not the logic you should choose. You should come up with some other factors so that there's an interesting way for the players to decide how they want to deal with the wants. And I want to start with our guardian angel girl boss here.
Yeah.
What does she want from adventurer types or from the players, right? What is the problem she is trying to overcome? And it could be as simple as, hey, there are these bandits who are threatening this rule, go kill them. Or it could be more complicated, like, hey, there's something wrong with the hedge. I'm forbidden from going in there. You need to go in there and kill these intelligent rats. I don't know. Something like this.
No, I like this. This is great. I think our girl boss, the main thing that she wants, or a big thing, is, hey, there's these bandits that are kidnapping my workers and sabotaging the work of Ingress, and I can't leave the keep. I have to oversee this construction and guard this maze. So will you go and deal with these bandits for me?
She can't leave the entrance to the maze, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
She's never even seen the village. Or
that's right. That's right.
Like
That's right.
that.
It's even better.
That's
Right.
real,
She is, locked basically into this protector role. I think also it would be good. Yeah, she's like, something has escaped the maze. Ooh, that's good. Something, maybe it's an intelligent rat. Maybe it's something horrible. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Something that could be horrible, but you have to go and like bring it back. It's an important part of the maze ecosystem. I do think an intelligent giant rat is funny. We can call it Mrs. Frisbee.
Let's see. We can make it a little crazier and more fantasy like. It's an intelligent giant rat that can take the shape of a human. It's like a shapeshifter rat or something. It's a reverse were rat.
It's a reverse were rat. What? Sorry, I'm. What if it's also psychic? What if it's a psychic rat?
Yeah.
It has telepathy and it's I don't know.
Well, if we could define what the cursed artifact is,
okay,
that could give us a clue as to what the rat is. What is so important, right, that the gods sent an angel to permanently guard this powerful artifact?
Let's say, I mean, we're I think we sort of like circled around it, and just by throwing ideas out, I think maybe it's some like fragment of creation that awakens animals and plants. That's why we've got walking topiaries and intelligent rats in this hedge maze. It's the kind of thing that somebody could use to the right person could use to create a world or uplift an entire species or something like that, right? It's a very powerful object of creation, but in the wrong hands, you could use it to do all kinds of horrible things.
Okay, it's a fragment of awakening, right? It can essentially, it has some bonus to your mental ability scores and some powers when you first pick it up to basically cast a spell that's like awakening, right? You can turn things. Okay, cool. So her, like when the players encounter her, if they decide to encounter her diplomatically, she wants them to track down the escapee
Yeah.
of this intelligent monster of the maze. And this is where we should say that this intelligent monster of the maze is not here at this point, right?
Yes.
It's at another point, right?
It's at a different
and
point.
that's going to be it's at a different point. And then this is also a reminder, we need at least a couple other things that connect to other points, which we can add later as we build those other points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. I think that's. I mean, she probably has other things that she wants them to do, but like I think having two things when they show up and she's like, "Hello, I need help with these things. I will reward you with powers or gold or both if you help me with this," is a good way to start.
And then I would say it's her servants, the knights that she's enthralled or coerced in, like they have kind of some perfect hierarchy and funny names. There's 8 to 12 of them, and they're the ones that are like the real important thing is that you stop the supply disruptions to us building the keep. You deal with the bandits.
That
and
makes
stuff
sense.
Like that. Yeah. And the bandits are maybe more focused on the knights. Okay, yeah, we should. Okay, this is when you start thinking. Okay, I need to point to some other points. It's time to set aside one of your points and then come back to it, but build what's the next point over, or it could be a completely different side of your point crawl or point map.
Well, let's do threshold. I really like the idea of threshold. So we've got this village. Some of the workers, some of the people there are maybe like directly compelled by our girl boss, but a lot of them are there either more mundanely coerced by either they've been paid or possibly even enslaved by the asshole knights to work. Maybe we have a system where there's
it's serfdom. You're describing serfdom.
I'm describing serfdom, and a corvée system,
like 16th and 17th century Eastern Europe. Rob has rediscovered serfdom.
I've rediscovered serfdom, but with angels, which is better. So I like that there's a tavern. There's maybe a beleaguered tavern keeper who has no real like allegiance to anybody and is just trying to make a buck. Maybe they can be somebody who points the players in like one direction or another. I think it would be cool to have. There's obviously like an infiltrator in the village. There's somebody from the rebels who is pretending to be on the side of the girl boss, but is working to undermine them.
Call him or her the stonemason.
Love it. Have it be the stonemason.
Listen, if you see a mason, you know that there's conspiracies afoot.
Conspiratorial. I think also maybe there's some.
Actually, let's call our bandit rebels right. Okay, we can't call them the Freemasons.
We can't call them the Freemasons. We can call them
the Masons of.
We can call them the
the stone cutters.
I was just gonna say that's from The Simpsons. We can't do that either. That was literally the first thing that I came up with. Hang on.
That's fine. We can leave stone cutters as a placeholder.
Yeah, let's call them stone cutters. We can fix that later. But something along. I like that. They're undermining.
Stone breakers.
The sappers.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then I would say this is if we're going with Baldur's Gate 3 style, right? Even the like little pet, everyone wants something from the players. Even the little peasants have an adventurer task for them.
I think this is great. I think the peasants they live lives of deprivation, and they want some good ale or like nice cheese from maybe there's a trading post nearby, or they heard of like a cache hidden in the woods. This could be like from one point to another to get just something nice because they spend a lot of days working, and the gatekeepers are not particularly interested with their comforts. They get bread and water, and that's about it.
Yeah, they want wine for they're planning a wedding between two of the
yes.
laborers, and they need wine from another village. And here's another thing that the players can do that's at another point that's nowhere near threshold or ingress or this maze or this keep. And so that's so again. Now I think we should move away from this cluster of subpoints, right, that are all near each other, and build something that's, a day's travel away or a watch's travel away from these.
Okay.
So, because we're 40 minutes in and we've only got kind of one cluster of points, and we need many points for the players to go to.
Okay.
So what's the next hex over or 2 hexes over from this maze?
Sure. So let's do something a little bit more interesting than just a village. A village,
keep
or
on the Borderlands, for example. Yeah.
Or a village of Hamlet. Let's say, I've got it. Let's go back to one of our strengths. Let's say that there is a seasonal encampment of nomads. There's a plain nearby on again, like maybe a day's ride away, and at this time, let's say it's summer. There's summer grazing grounds are there, and so there's a huge congregation of nomads, and we can have these be your standard steppe nomads, or it can be some Roma-style wagon travelers, or maybe a combination of both, wagons and yurts, and a big gathering of nomadic folk, which has a big opportunity for trade, but also interesting visitors and people who both are interested in combat and magic, etc., so on and so forth.
We've already got humanoids, right? I'm assuming that like these peasants and knights are humans or human-like things. I don't want to add another point that's just more humans, right?
Yes, okay.
So these nomads should be
centaurs,
weird or magical. They could be centaurs. They could be turtle people. Oh, what about turtle people in that they're like they're nomads, but they're really slow.
I love that.
They migrate very slowly.
Well, it's let's not make it be like their summer camp. Let's just say this is the traveling turtle caravan, and they just happen to be nearby right now, and they're moving at a slow pace across the plains, and happen to be in the region, and will be probably for a month or two at least. Maybe longer.
Okay, so there's these turtles, Galrapa turtle people. They've got wagons that are also pulled by larger turtles.
And their wagons are shells. They're
wagons are
large
big
shells or modeled like that.
And then the great thing about building your second point is you can already start making connections with the first point. And because we have to imagine, what if this is the first place the players decide to go?
Mm-hmm.
I would say, first off, there's a turtle, mage or druid or something like that that's like concerned about one of their pack animals was killed by a weird topiary creature from this maze, and it wants the players to investigate. And then second, I would say the rebels to me look very, very sympathetic.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that we have the players, hey, these stonecutters want us to just go in, kill all the knights, deal with the angel, destroy her, and if the players decide to do that, that sounds great. But we could also let the turtles know, hey, the bandits have taken one of our supply wagons.
No, I agree.
We need that.
I was thinking about this. Let's make it complicated. Let's say the bandits attacked one of their wagons and maybe even killed one of the guards, or more than one. Maybe they took a turtle youth hostage. We can decide how complicated.
The hostage is great, because then if the players go to the bandits first, they're like, hey, who's this weird turtle person?
Yeah,
Where is he from?
What's this turtle doing in your camp? This could be the same person as the turtle mage, but I think we have like a turtle Galrapa lore keeper who knows something about this angel or this hedge maze and can drop a hint. This can be sort of like a point to point if they have not discovered either the village or the keep or the angel just yet and be like, I've heard about this thing, this cursed artifact, and they can know as much or as little as is right for the campaign. But that can be another point to point thingy.
Yeah. And then actually they're nomadic turtles, but we want to like keep them, slowly moving through the same hex for the players, because we want you don't want the world to be static, but you do want to give players the freedom. Okay, we can't deal with this now, but we are interested in this. Let's come back. Is there, and it's good to give like each node or each faction like the thing they want that may connect to other things, but it's just like the thing they need. And so I'm imagining this caravan of turtles. They're trying to travel somewhere. There's something in their way. There's something blocking them. And so one of the things they need from the players is like, hey, the next grassland over in the next hex or the next mountain pass, there's a creature there. There's an enemy. There's an environmental obstacle that needs to be dealt with, right? There's some grasslands that are cursed. There's a drake in the mountain pass that will kill us all. Go slay it.
I've got something for this.
Oh, awesome.
I think. So the turtles, maybe this area that they're in normally.
Are they teenagers? Mutants?
Some of them are.
Ninjas?
Actually, some of them might even be.
Actually, yeah, they do have some ninja guardians.
There are some ninja
sure.
turtles. Fuck. This area, every year around this time, there's the flowers blossom. There's a bunch of delicious edible flowers that both they and their pack animals like love to feed on. It's part of their, both their ecology and their culture to stop here and eat these delicious flowers. But they're not blooming, right? The hedge maze, or the magics from the hedge maze have like somehow disrupted the blooms, and so they're kind of stuck. They're like, well, one, we don't have our a traditional feast for this time of year, but also like do we wait? What's gone wrong? We can't move forward, and this would be kind of fun because you can have like, I don't know, a council of turtles like arguing about what to do. Like, do we move on? Do we stay? Do we try to like figure it out? Do we find new grazing grounds?
Okay. The fact is they arrived here and they're I like the idea that they're just coming to eat these flowers because they're delicious or whatever. Like their whole life, they're what's the like Greek word? They're hedonist turtles.
They are
right?
hedonist turtles. They just love to move from tasty thing to tasty thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's how I imagine regular animal turtles are in real life. They're just like pleasure-seeking creatures.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. But the flowers are not blooming, and the cause of this, to me, this seems like the obvious answer is, there's some sort of monster that needs to be dealt with.
Let's keep this one simple. There's a monster.
It could be connected to the maze. It could be connected to, I mean, if I think of a flower associated monster, my mind immediately goes to Fae.
Yeah, that's good actually. Let's make it not actually connected to the maze, because that's a fun.
Because we already have a connection to the maze through the bandits.
That's a fun twist too, because the players might be like, oh, this has to do with the maze, but actually, it's unrelated. That's always fun to me. This is a capricious Fae that is fucking with it for Fae reasons. We can come up with specifically why. It could just be like a dryad that's like pissed off about something. Or
I'm thinking like this is one thing that I have to deal with in my own planning is making every quest the most complicated quest of all time. And I was thinking just like, well, why don't we reskin a monster that's like a fun solo fight to be like a flower monster? Right? Sure. Like it's a flower Otyugh. It's a flower chimera.
I think that's great. Like let's I mean, if this was Pathfinder, we could just apply like a plant template to an Otyugh or a.
It could be Pathfinder. We didn't say what
anything.
System this is. This could be Dragonheart. This could be Cairn. Said it right this time, Rob. This could be the Black Hack.
But then you said Dragonheart, the Kevin Costner film, and not Daggerheart.
I did say
that's okay.
that.
Editor Rob here. The star of the 1996 masterpiece, Dragonheart, is actually Dennis Quaid, not Kevin Costner. So Matt and I are both fools.
Sorry, Bowen. I hope you like it well done.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the idea. Let's just do a fun monster, an Otyugh or a chimera, but it's a plant. It's made of a bunch of flowers. The Otyugh.
What about a chimera and then its heads are 3 different like sentient
that's
flowers?
Sick. I love that.
Like blossoms.
That's so good. Yes.
One like spores or pollen, and another
shoots,
has thorn whips.
Yep. And like maybe another one that's like acid or something. That's a great idea. I love this.
Acid.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
acid, thorn whips, spores.
It's a plant chimera. It's got flower heads, and yeah, it's fucking with the regular reproductive cycle of this like field of flowers or this veil of flowers, and you got to go kill the weird plant chimera. That's great.
Okay.
I love that.
And then for all my like monster hunting quests, should there be a clue or a trick to like luring this chimera out or finding its lair?
Yeah, let's see. It's a flower. It's a plant. Okay, well, let's get weird with it. Let's say that there is a fey creature that works as a pollinator for magical flowers or plants, and that it needs or wants to find this thing so that it can do its flower reproduction, and by either the fairy bees. I'm thinking of fairy bees, and either the players need to find some, or they need to like mimic or imitate them to sort of like attract the plant chimera, which is trying to find pollinators for its life cycle.
Yeah, let's keep this simple. If the players enter the hex or the meadow of flowers, they will encounter these fairy bees. They can talk to them. They can deal with them. They're annoying, but they will tell them, "Hey, the chimera lives over here," or you need to like mound. What do flowers eat? Sunlight. You need to create an intense area of sunlight for it to bathe in, and it will come. And then
or
you
it
can slay
wants like a nutritious soil. Like you need to pile up a bunch of maybe they need to pile up a bunch of like turtle dung to so that it can nest and get a bunch of nutrients to get bigger.
And then, this is one of those, keep the solution open-ended. If the players have someone who's good at tracking, they can find a footprint and try and follow it. There's many ways. If they follow it, it'll take it to a lair where it's maybe a little more defensible to fight. But they could also listen to the fairies and create a little garden for it. And if they create a garden for it, they can slay it. Slaying it releases the pollen and stuff, and the flowers can bloom. The turtles are happy. They'll give the players something. And then we're on to that. This is telling me it's time to create another point. And I think our next point should be Fae related, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like the next point over here is we've got a bunch of Fae stuff. And I like the idea of like, hey, there's a forest or a garden area, could be a swamp or something that is just the Fey wild is and material plane border is thin. There's lots of curses and creatures like that.
Tell me if this. Tell me if
I love having a. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, I love having a Fey style knight, like a green. What's the guy from Arthur? Not the children's PBS TV show, but
from the
you may not have heard of it. It's way more obscure than
from the tales. No. A fairy knight is a classic trope. I love that.
Right. Green man kind of knight
like
who will
Knight.
challenge the players. And does he have anything to do with the rest of the story? No, that's fine. He's just into challenge, but he will tell Oberon.
Is one of many. Okay, I love this. Tell me if this makes sense. So I let's have like a fairy court, and I think that let's lean into the whole like fae thing, and instead of being in a specific hex, there are thin places and also entrances kind of like all over the place. And so this means that like maybe the players might stumble into the fairy court accidentally, or they can find it deliberately. But it's you know, it is like a different realm. Like it's alongside, but like not precisely like in this same area. And there's you got your fairy knight, you've got your fairy bees, and some other connections to the Feywilds for like running through the whole area.
So we need to build like a very small, again, low level fairy court, right? Maybe there's 3 members of it, right? We don't want to make a lot of NPCs for us to keep track of, right? There are 3 like barons or subdukes or something like that the players can negotiate between. I also like the idea that there might be regular humanoids. Oh, intelligent creature escaped from a maze. Minotaur.
A Minotaur, well, right, yes.
Going back to 2 points ago. See, this is the great thing about like planning hexes. You put something aside and then you're like, hey, what should it should be a mouse minotaur, a rat minotaur.
Yeah. Well, this is stealing directly from Gradient Descent, but I'm not mad about it. It's like we should have the minotaur be nice. Be like look like a monster, but be like kind and intelligent and noble. That's, you know, is a complicated decision, right? Like, how do you bring it back? Do you work with it? What does it want?
Nice. So I'm just writing down nice, scary looking rat minotaur.
Rat minotaur.
The horned rat.
The horned rat. Love it.
That's Warhammer. Warhammer has a horned.
It's a horned rat. That's right.
It's the god of the Skaven, I think.
I think that's
before
right.
Someone. I'm trying to think through this so someone doesn't feel the need to post it.
Please don't get mad if we got Warhammer lore wrong.
Yeah. All right. I had in my like brainstorming this week, this is what I like write down sometimes, is buff elves. I wrote down buff elves.
I love buff elves, and one of the cool things about Baldur's Gate 3 is that you can make a beefcake elf. It's probably, like, to me, just like one of the funniest things that you can like physically represent in fantasy. I love the idea of a super buff elf. It's hilarious to me. So let's have some buff elves.
Okay, so there's a tribe of like wild elves or Grurok or whatever they're called in D&D that are live here in the Feywild thin lands, this forest. They're all into lifting and being barbarians.
And feats of strength. I love this.
Feats of strength.
They're still elves, but like they're not like, they're just constantly like lifting things, working out, you know, consuming protein, challenging each other to arm wrestling and other forms of you know, physical prowess. And maybe they're kind of dipshits, like they're gym bros. But I love that.
Well, that tells me that one of in our court of the Feywild is a Fey that represents the strength of nature or something like that, the power of nature. So there's a duke, one of the minor Fey that live on the other side of the curtain from the material world that the players are in, is a duke of strong Fey.
A duke of, I don't know, duke of oak or something like that, or the oaken duke. You know, he's just a strong tree-like Fey. He's just a plant, but still, but very strong. Yeah, we'll hammer that one out. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, the wild elves, they live in giant oak trees or something like that, where they've built their gyms. And they have a bunch of like obstacle courses that they run.
They've got things to swing on and jump over.
Oh, this would be a fun way to redo for a set of new players a great classic elf dwarf conflict, right? The other group of intelligent creatures that live in this Feywild forest could be dwarves. No, we don't have to go.
No. I love that. Let's make up some. This is not we're forging off the path, but let's have some Fey dwarves. Like let's say that there's a group of Fey dwarves, and we're playing against type here. They also love trees. They're hippie druid dwarves. Let's maybe
Oh
This
yeah,
is
they're
maybe
druid dwarves, right? The elves don't have any magic.
They don't have any magic.
just
They're just buff.
barbarians, right?
That's right. The dwarves are druids. Maybe they're psychonauts. Maybe they lean like they smoke pipes all the time and they're constantly high. And they're also hanging out in the Oaken Duke's court and constantly.
Well, maybe they have a different sponsor in the court.
Yeah, sure.
They worship someone else.
Their patron is like a. What about a myconid, like a mushroom king, who gives them sick?
The mushrooms were in Baldur's Gate 1, but I like the drug angle. What about just like an acid trip kind of thing?
Yeah.
Is acid made from mushrooms? No,
it's an
Synthetic
artificial
chemical.
compound, unlike magic mushrooms or something else. But I mean, it could be.
No,
it could
I
be-
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like Fae don't have to be tied to one specific aspect of nature, right? This Fae could just be about hallucinations.
Yes, I like that. Something like the
Sort of a Kin Kesey Fae here.
something like that. I'm trying to think of like a good name for something like this. Yeah, the King of Visions or something like that. Or
the King of Visions. Well, he's not king yet. He's a Duke of Visions.
Sure,
But
Duke of Visions.
I'm going. Yeah, let's say we've got a Duke. Let's say Duchess of Visions.
Duchess of Visions. Even better. Even better.
All right, these dwarves worship and serve the Duchess of Visions, who's opposed to the Oaken Duke, and we can always add a third member of the court. Quick faction: Trick is have 3, right?
I have 3.
They don't all have to be the same importance, but
Well, let's
choice between 2 is never as good as.
Let's have a bit more of a traditional one where we can put our fairy knight. Maybe a. God, I'm stealing this from something, but I don't remember what. Like it's from his Dark Materials, but like some pixie knights, some some warrior pixies, and they have they're a traditional knightly order. They carry swords and shields, but they're pixies, so
they're tiny.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
And then you can have their commander be like Captain something or other.
Okay, so we have the captain of the Pixie Knights. So this is like, I'm imagining the way this hex works is, or this point is that the players can go from, the Psychonaut Druids village or dungeon to the Oaken Forest area of the Buff Elves to the Martial area of the Pixie Knights, or they can take one of the mini portals and explore the same area in the Feywild where it's actually just the court, right? It's a big fancy looking marble and ivy covered palace. And because there's this palace here, and it's so powerful that the forest on the material side of the plains is full of Feywild energy.
The palace is a good place to put. We could have wanderers or travelers if we need to like add in an NPC or another hook or another point-to-point thing. There's all sorts of interesting people who might be at the fairy court.
All right, Rob, we've been prepping for an hour or so. Now, I think what we should do here is I'm imagining a good point crawl, right? Again, if we're using Baldur's Gate Act 1 as a model, should have somewhere between 5 to 8 major zones with, just like this. And we've got 3 of them. So we're halfway-ish there. But tell me if I'm wrong here, but maybe this is a good place to go back to our party motivation, right?
Yep.
And again, way C we're connecting most of these places. Way B is going to depend on what your players come up with for their characters and backstory to give them, individual quests. So that's on you, or on us when we get this in front of players. Way A, though, what's the party motivation? And so I have in my notes, we have a letter for a friend, a relationship. We're looking for someone who's been missing or captured. Are any of these zones strong enough that we can put this person the players are looking for there somewhere?
Okay. So we should tie this together. 2 questions. Do we want to change our motivation now that we've hammered a bunch of stuff out, or do we want to just stick to this and make it work?
So far, I'm not. I mean, obviously, this person could be captured by the Fae and is in the Feywild or something, or they've been lost in the maze of that the angel is guarding at Ingress. Those are all fine options, and I wouldn't be unhappy running it with that. It does put one of these zones as like our central boss zone.
Yeah.
I'm thinking what might be better if we're going for Baldur's Gate 3 style quest is what is, the great thing about Act 1 is that wherever you go, and it gets, as we talked about on the Patreon episode, it gets frustrating after a while. You're like, hey, can you help me with my problem? And everyone's always like, yes, do this. And then they're like, no, I can't. So, but I do like the idea of the players have some kind of problem that they need to solve that relates to them personally. And maybe we could combine these two. Maybe the person who they initially think can solve this problem is the person they're looking for.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
That is making sense. I am thinking we don't have time. Good place. I mean, the thing about, I like that we got weird with it, but like maybe we don't want to start out at like maximum weird. Maybe we have like I don't want to do like another village, but like something normal-ish as like our starting zone. Maybe a hunting lodge or a trading post or
we could just use the thing we did for our last actual prep, right? The village of 3 bells.
That's right. Sorry, we wrote that down at the beginning and I forgot all about it. Let's have 3 bells be our starting point. That's great because that gives us look at us cheating. That gives us a zone that we've already built that we can tweak or modify to be one of our points, saving us a great deal of time. Look how smart we are.
Yeah. And then the motivation for exploring is, if we went back, and you can go back and listen to our actual prep on these episodes if you want, could be players are looking for an important NPC in the background. This is Syrinx, or the spoilers for this adventure, but the players are like cursed by the weird entity that a warlock is in communication with, and they have to find them and destroy them. This is also something we can save for planning on our next time if we have when we come back to it.
I mean, the thing that's occurring to me, we don't have to commit to this, is that the letter is from, I'm imagining a bombastic gentleman adventurer, somebody, who is constantly seeking out challenges, going places, finding treasure, etc., so on and so forth. And he has invited the players to come join him on his latest great adventure, but when they get to 3 bells, he is gone missing, and they have to figure out where he's gone.
I like that. I just wish it was more personal to the player characters.
I agree. And I say let's sort of like put a pin in that, and we'll hit it when we do part 2 of this, because
And again, our goal with like talking through actual prep is for you, the listener, to be like, oh, I know the perfect like motivation for a party using this stuff. Perfect. Take that and use it in your own prep. Yeah, I think usually it's like getting out of a place, getting into a place, lifting some kind of curse is interesting.
I do like the curse.
We'll think about this.
Let me think about that. I am wary of saddling players with, well, no, it worked for Baldur's Gate. Maybe it is a curse. I think maybe that's right. I think maybe they're cursed and they have to come here to relieve the curse. I don't want it to be too onerous. So like we got to figure out what the curse specifically does. But I do like that. Wait,
here's an idea: is when they destroy the evil bad guy. If assuming, let's say, you ran the adventure we had done before, this evil bad guy curses them, but in a way that's like, at least at first, kind of funny. Like, every time you roll a 1, you roll on the wild magic table or something like that?
Sure. I mean, given, again, spoilers for the best starting adventure, but like maybe it's just that they can't go to sea because Davy Jones has cursed
If
them.
this is on the coast.
So, you know, if they ever want to like sail again or travel across the ocean, they have to lift this curse, which means finding their friend or finding something that's
right. I really like this. An anti-water curse.
Yeah.
And then we can, kind of say that like, hey, the area you're in is surrounded by like inhospitable mountains or, cliffs or something. So it's like play around in this sandbox until you can lift the curse, and then you can travel wherever you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah, actually that's
Okay.
great. That's cool. Yeah.
So the curse is, and this is assuming that you play our first adventure before you do this one, or that we play our first adventure before we do this one. It's not a bad one. The other way to like start it using the same curse is the players are like shipwrecked or something like that, and they wash up on shore here, and this is how they acquired the curse.
Those are both great. So yeah, this works great.
It's a final destination type thing. They were supposed to die in the shipwreck, and then they didn't. Everyone else on their ship died.
Davy Jones wants their souls, which means they can't leave. They can't leave the island or this marshy coast until they've lifted the curse, or else anytime they go to sea, they're going to be capsized and shipwrecked and dragged to his locker.
Nice.
Love
we
that.
Can put
That's
these hippie psychonaut dwarves on the edge of the coast. That sounds fun too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
And then with this curse, one thing we can do as we prep more probably next episode is every interesting and smart person at these zones will have some idea of what can be done to destroy this. And then maybe we can even put a cult of Davy Jones somewhere, which
that's
is
a
where
faction
the ultimate
that we should put in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This gives us
all right,
a great
this is all
option.
got to wait
Yeah.
for next time, but this is a ton of fun. I love doing an actual prep with you, Rob.
This is always fun. I'm glad we did this every time. It's a good time. Will this, we got a pretty big backlog of things to actually like write up, but this will be a good thing for us to eventually build out. We'll work on it. I hope you all found this interesting. You got some ideas of your own. We will come back for part 2 to try to hammer out our last few points and put some kind of a bow on the adventure itself. But I hope that this knocked some things loose for you, and we'll come back soon and for part 2 to round it out.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. If you want a copy of our best starting adventure, you can head over to patreon.com/dungeonmaster of None and unlock all of our bonus episodes there and support the show. You can also, if you have some suggestions or ideas or thoughts or questions, drop us a line at dmofnone@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and keep rolling them dice.
You better roll them dice. You never know if it could change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. You never know if you don't roll them dice. You better roll them dice. You never know if it'll change your life. Take a chance, you're neither wrong or right. Pac Div. You never know if you don't roll.